It is Friday the 8th of December. Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our weekend weather update and the outlook for next week. We've got a cold front coming through on Sunday, but before it gets here, the temperatures are about to jump up across the country. We've got a pulse of hot air coming out of Australia for Saturday, and then next week, another cold front, an even colder one coming through. But we've also got a lot more high pressure and dry weather. One of the trade-offs, if you like, from switching from the tropical winds to a cooler southerly wind is that we get lower rainfall totals. And many of you around the North Island are wanting that, although now we're starting to hear from those that are starting to say it's drying out. So we're in that phase now as spring slowly fades out, summer comes in, but to be honest, in New Zealand, there's not much difference between the two at this time of the year, to be honest. I mean, we really do have a spring pattern that goes right through till about January and kicks off again in March. So we get about January and February where I think it's like summer. And I think the same in winter. We've got a 2-month winter and the rest of it is all a long spring and a long autumn. 8 months of spring and autumn, if you like. Here is the animated wind map, a huge high pressure zone here. That is the reason why the cyclone up here has taken a longer time to get to category 4, but that happened this morning. We've got another video about the cyclone if you want more details on that one. But this high pressure zone, hot nor'westers out of Australia, that is on its way for the South Island on Saturday, then the North Island on Sunday ahead of that cold front. Let's have a look at the rainfall. So for the next 2 days, this is Saturday and Sunday's rain, most of it down in Westland and Fiordland, where 125 millimetres is possible, or even more than that, but almost nothing falling for most of these eastern areas, 5 to 10 millimetres at the most as those fronts come in, or as that cold front comes through. We had one last night as well. And then here is the temperature map, just out of curiosity really for Australia, 45 degrees and above, so hot weather. And that is the system that's pushing towards Sydney. And then look at Saturday, see the red line there, pushing out that heat, caught up in the nor'wester, loses about 10 degrees as it crosses the Tasman. So they've got about 41 in Sydney. Probably we'll see some parts of the South Island getting up to about 31 degrees. Late 20s certainly are likely. Canterbury, Marlborough, other parts inland. High pressures over the top of New Zealand, so the winds are light. A slightly cooler morning, but then the afternoon's pretty good. Here comes that cold front and also pretty windy as well. Now this cold front's quite interesting because at the same time that it comes into the South Island, basically coming into Milford Sound and then a little bit later on Invercargill, also Melbourne, also Adelaide. So that is a great distance and all of you pretty much getting that temperature drop at the same time. It is most dramatic over here. Port Augusta, 44 something degrees at the moment, and it'll be down to about 17 by the time you get to Sunday here. So let's have a look at what is coming through. There is that cold front and it reaches about Wellington into the afternoon. And then you'll get the cloud, the winds around a little bit all weekend there, and it moves up to the top of the country by the end of Sunday, but it falls apart. So before it gets there, those nor'westers in Hawke's Bay are going to be lovely. And there's not much rain coming for you with that cold front as well. You might get a little bit of it as the southerly comes in. Sometimes you can get a thunderstorm or just a heavy downpour, but it's short-lived. And behind it, more high pressure. So for the start of next week, apart from a couple of showers lingering around, this is the main feature and the next cold front starting to build down here in the south. So we jump to Tuesday and there it is. And this is a colder one than the one we're getting this weekend. Now, I've got memories of snow falling in Taupō when I lived there. Way back in the year 2000, in 1999, we had snow on Mount Ruapehu on New Year's Eve. I can very clearly remember New Year's Day being very cold. And just this last summer, we had frosts around the South Island in the middle of summer. So, a weather map like this to me in December is really normal. I don't think it's weird at all. And so it'll be cold. There'll be some snow on the mountains and ranges of the South Island. Nothing much though, and as quickly as it comes in, it's pretty much going by Wednesday because the next high is pushing through. And classic El Nino, we've been waiting a long time to say that on a more regular basis, but this is classic El Nino, high pressure in the Tasman out towards Australia, and New Zealand's on the edges of it. So those in the east are usually drier and warmer for the most part, but we still get the odd cold front coming through. And also we think Cyclone Jasper will be coming in around about the middle of next week, although there's a massive question mark about that because of this enormous high. The air pressure is not very big, but that's a huge high pressure system stretching all the way up to the cyclone and all the way down to the Southern Ocean. So we've got a cyclone update out today. We'll probably have another one again at the weekend on Sunday. Otherwise, have a great weekend and we'll see you next week.